Biomagnetism, in my opinion, we'll start off with this, is probably one of the coolest modalities that I've ever encountered. The interesting thing about this is, unlike acupuncture and some of these Ayurveda, these old sciences that are from 5,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, biomagnetism was just created in the late 80s, 1988, which is mind-boggling. And that's probably why also with this newer science, it's starting to spread, but it's still a baby. It's still a baby. And basically it started to give you a little history, as I said, thousands of years ago, even Cleopatra used a ferrite rock on her forehead, which ferrite rocks have electromagnetic fields, are magnets that pull from the earth, a biomagnetic field, would put it on her forehead. You could see she'd put it in the jewel to help with headaches. And there, you could look at hieroglyphics in caves from years ago that showed about the use of magnets, rocks that were used to heal ailments, and the history goes on and on. It's quite fascinating. So a lot of times you'll come into our clinic space and it has this like beautiful vibe and this holistic, almost like a bougie healing vibe to it, when it's so rooted in science, and people get to know like, wow, this is legit when they come in, because we give a lot of history when we teach our clients. So in 1988, Dr. Breuingmeyer was running this, he's a physicist, was running this conference and this training. And because he had realized that when he sent astronauts to space through NASA, and they were at the space station for a period of time, their electromagnetic field, being away from gravity, was eliminated. So when they came back to Earth, that right leg was a couple centimeters to a couple inches longer than the left, shorter than the left leg. And it was pretty much in every single astronaut. And they couldn't quite figure out what was going on. So with research and having their background in science, they realized, well, if we restore the electromagnetic field by putting a pretty high-powered Gauss magnet, which we'll talk more about, on the body, the leg went back to normal length. So almost like that leg length discrepancy showed an imbalance in the body. And when there's an imbalance in the body, we know that's the beginning of the disease process. So Dr. Goyes, a brilliant man, again, in the sciences, went to a training with Dr. Breuingmeyer and said, okay, what if we put magnets in polarity? So we use a North Pole and a South Pole magnet on the body in different places. The first pair was actually for HIV virus, so to help the body work on the symptoms. Remember, the body is the one that's doing the job at clearing symptoms of infection. And they found that putting a North Pole magnet on that thymus, which is your immune center, and then the light magnet in ours, which is a South Pole, on the rectum, tailbone area, was the perfect resonance to be able to vibrate with the virus of HIV, to be able to allow the body to break it down. So we're creating, actually, with two magnets in polarity, a pH neutral. And when there's a pH neutral, infection and pathogen can't survive. So it becomes this weakness of that pathogen where the body can be like, okay, now I'm not underwater anymore. I can start to rise up and do the job I'm supposed to do. So people will come in thinking we're the masters and the magnets are doing all the work. We're really good reads of the body. But in turn, we're just utilizing this beautiful tool of kinesiology, which is muscle testing the body to find out what's going on, placing magnets appropriately on the body in patterns where infection or emotions like to hide or imbalances happen, and homeostasis occurs. And when homeostasis or balance of the body occurs, that's when health takes over. And that's where with our clients, we start to see this uptick of health. And before you know it, they're like, I can't believe my symptoms are dissipating and my emotional state feels more balanced.
Does the infection go dormant, or does it kind of flush out?
From our experience, and I'm going to say there's theories on this. I'm going to speak from my experience with all of this, right? Because a lot of this could also be controversial. We see from our testing, our testing through the body, that things don't really go to a dormant state. The body is able to almost eradicate it on its own. The symptoms of these disease processes. Everything comes through our door, from MS to severe seizure disorders to even just some reflux that could debilitate someone that has an infectious root. And we find that when the symptom dissipates, we do find that the body shows no more sign of that infection, which is pretty cool.